Somebody posted and shared a comment with me. Islam Wars, DSN Bonham. Somebody sent me a Facebook Live. No, I'm sorry. Posted me a video, a link about tomorrow. All women across the world change your profile pages to blackness, I guess. Like meaning like just like a black screen to protest woman abuse, domestic abuse, was it? Domestic abuse? Y'all gonna hear me today. I just feel like messing with y'all since I don't be talking to y'all. Why should I do that? For what? You wanna know how domestic violence gets stopped? If there was somebody on live today, because I know this is Sunday and we all be just trying to relax on our last day before we gotta go to the job or before the work week starts again for us. But I always wonder, why do you want me to do this? When I just need you to get back into your national pedigree. I need you to claim and declare your Moorish nationality, but you want me to sit here and change my avatar to a black screen to protest domestic violence, when most of the violence domestically is coming from women. It may not be physical, it's mental and social. You know how we domestically violate and abuse our sons by as well as daughters is by having them in a dead status. So technically we have our children and they're like a black screen, literally. But you want me to change my avatar page to support domestic violence, mothers, daughters, women of children of the male persuasion. Why do you think your sons be mad at you? Doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they get born into a society where they have no name, no face, no voice. So technically, they are that black screen, our sons and our daughters. Because the very thing that could liberate them, the very thing that could liberate you would be knowledge of self, knowledge of birthright, knowledge of who you are and where you came from. And not to make it a joking topic, because domestic violence is not something to joke about. And I would not even call it domestic violence. I would call it violence in general. Whether it is imposed upon a man or it's imposed upon a woman. Whether it's physical, social, economical. Whether it's any of those things, right? Mothers, why you the one sitting here doing the most subjugation? You're doing the most domestic violence. It may not be physical, like you may not be punching your son in the head, your daughter in the head, your wife in the head, but you're doing it nonetheless. You beating him up, he beating you up, so y'all beating each other up, fighting each other. Well, y'all got a bigger fish to fry. Y'all got somebody else to be fighting, which is colonization, right? I actually was talking to Taj Tariq Bey yesterday. We had a meeting yesterday. And one of the questions I asked him was, how do we handle our sons? How do we handle our males? How do we handle our consorts? How do we handle that? And the very first thing it says, stop teaching them Christian black codes. And that was profound. And today we were going to do Tea with Ruth, where we talked about Christian black codes. But I'm going to post it up. I think I actually probably have it in the file section of the northeast region of the consulate. But if it's not there, I'll post it up later on when I get off of this live broadcast. But the point I'm trying to make is that we want to sit here and always join this cause, just like while I was downtown Center City, Philadelphia, anciently known as Shaka Maxim. But there was a protest, all beyond women. You know, we be sprinkling in there because we don't know who the hell we are, because mommy sit here told us we was black, Negro, colored, African American, and she never corrected that status for her children, which is hence why a lot of women just really are being beat up, because they done forgot their nationality, they didn't push down their pedigree and birth line and heritage and culture, and now these children don't have a way to survive in a society where having a nationality is living and not having one is actually being dead, right? I was like, so I think it's very interesting that people want to sit here and push a lot of this nonsense. Don't push that nonsense to me, family. Don't do that to me, because I'm just going to delete it. 90% of the things that you send me, these little voice messages, these little videos, about what people are doing. What are you doing? How are you making sure the next generation are not born with that black screen, with a black avatar, literally a black that's what we are already. That's what you are. If you have not declared and proclaimed your nationality, you are that black screen. You don't exist. So the question I have is, why should I change my avatar? My avatar is me repping my nation. Is me repping my Moorish nation. I'm not changing it to rep nothing. Because if you are in a domestically violent situation, and I'm not going to sit here and make light of that because it's a horrible place to be. I'm not going to say that it's a comfortable place to be, but you owe it to yourself to fight that fight. Here go my console. Nah, he's not coming, sorry. So my question, Islam family. Can I change my grandchild's nationality? What you mean change? You mean declare it? Because yeah, you mean declaring it, right? The nationality piece. And that would be how old. Well, the first thing I would want to know is how old is your grandson? Why? Who is his mother? And is that something she can process? Because we can kind of satisfy that with knowing that piece. If everybody's entitled to a nationality. Just know that everybody's entitled to a nationality. So knowing that, yes, you can. If the mother is not willing to correct the status of her child that she created and fraudulently gave up to the so-called corporate state, yes to what? How old is your grandson or your grandchild? So the reasons why I really came on here was kind of to talk to you a little bit. There's a lot going on, a lot being done. The nationality identifications are up on our website now, so you can process that. But before you can even process nationality, the first thing you got to do is do yours. Identification cards. You have to do your status correction, your name declaration, and your proclamations. And we give you a MAC record number to verify that status correction turned over the capacity of the kidnappers. So yeah, like the reasons why I came on this live, y'all, is because two people posted something about a black screen for domestic violence. Mothers, we have work to do. We really have work to do, and we can't sit here and look to everyone else to fix our problems with us. And the first problem we fix is our status in society. Our lack of a status in society. You can fix that. You can fix that. You can fix the hate that is being disseminated between men and women. Because right now, patriarchy is dying and is going down with a fight. And anybody still holding that up, you're going down with it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Oh, he's 8. Oh, she's 8. She's 8 and her mother is not willing to correct. If she's 8, her mother's not willing to correct, you are technically her power of attorney, for the lack of a better word, because her mother is in a dead status. So yes, you do have the right as the grandmother, the matriarch of the family, to proclaim and declare the nationality of your grandson. The only thing I would do is do the name declaration and proclamation. Fill it out. So if it's, add the B or add the L. When you print it out under I am, you're going to sign in place of your grandchild because he's too young to sign or she's too young to sign. But you're going to use her right thumbprint to put on there. And then your 2 witnesses, and then get a current picture of your grandchild, and send it in. And then you have her status correction on file. We have her status correction on file as the Moorish American Consulate, and then order a national identification card for your grandchild, and just keep it on you. And when anything jump off, you would literally be the competent heir that can, one, claim your grandchild because her mother is not willing to, and lawful capacity. I hope that answered. Yes. Wait a minute. Yeah, her mother is incompetent because she's not willing to change her status correction to her Moorish bloodline. She wants to stay a brand. and that's illegal anyway. You know, being considering identifying as a U.S. Citizen is actually you're classified as like a terrorist, I guess. But yeah, you can do that the same way you did yours. You do it for your child, for your children. All of us who have children, who so you can get cards now. Yes, you can get cards now on the website, on the MoorishAmericanConsulate.org website. You go to the services tab, and on the services tab, it gives you instructions on processing for the identification cards. The allodial fee is $35 for the identification cards, and all you have to do when you pay the PayPal, because I think it's via PayPal, you just put your MAC right before you can order it. You're going to have that MAC number, because that's our verification, our record that you did that piece first. You declared and proclaimed the nationality of yourself and your children, or your progeny, or your consort. So when you do fill it out, and you put your Moorish American appellation and your MAC number, and then they'll process that. Once they verify status correction, which is what the MAC number really does. It verifies that you have completed your status correction, which is realigned yourself with your birthright and your bloodline. Okay, nobody else has a question? So yeah, like our children, we need to be following the paperwork for our children. If we haven't had any children, or if we're about to have children, we make sure we don't do any. We make sure we don't sign any any applications. No Social Security, no birth certificates. Your certificate of live birth is going to come from your nation, and that would be through the Moorish Science Temple. If it's unincorporated and doesn't have if it's a 501c3, don't go there. And you'll know the language in the documentation. If you have any questions about documentation and the adhesions that they may or may not have, drop us an email at the Moorish American Consulate, and we'll look it up, because you are not a U.S. citizen. You're not classified as a U.S. citizen. You're not conjoining to that corporate state, and a lot of our brothers and sisters have documentation that has adhesions to this corporate state. So you want to make sure you're reading your documents properly, and if you feel uncomfortable and unclear, send it to us so we can critique it, because you really have to make sure you're not aligning yourself through the corporate state, and it's allodial and private in nature. And your trust documents, if you haven't started your family trust, you need to start it now. We have the templates. You can get emailed the templates. Eventually those templates will be on that same website. We're still working on the services section of the website, so all of the templates that we talk about will be on that website. No feudal fee, absolutely none, because this information is yours. The only piece that we have to, until we get the funding, which we possibly will have. What if the temple is 501? Jira Moore is funny. So, yes, definitely. We have a lot of processes coming out. We have a lot of documentations. Like the process that we have for doing things allodially. 1, status correction. That's the name declaration and proclamation. 2, get your identification card so you can navigate, because you have a pass to port. You have a passport, a pass and identification cards to pass the port. And the treaty is the enforcement of that piece. In addition to that, after that, then you get your trust, start working on your trust documents. The nationality piece, all of your family members that are underneath you, at least your nuclear family. So for me, it would be me, my 3 children, my consort, and anyone else who wants to declare and proclaim their nationality. Right? So make sure you get your identification cards for you, your children. Again, go to the website, but you have to have your MAC number, and you need to be able to spit this off at leisure. Be like, okay, my MAC number is MA whatever. And that's how we know that, okay, we can provide you with this information, because we know you have corrected your status. Because again, every process we're talking about and realigning to your bloodline is allodial. And we want to make sure we don't injure our brothers and sisters who have not corrected their status with this process, because it's not to you. You would have to literally go to the UCCs like a lot of our brothers and sisters are going. You're going to have to go that route. If you don't want to proclaim and declare your nationality, that's your route, right along with the Albions. But if not, you have priority. Keep in mind the UCCs, we know why we created and established the UCCs. What else? I actually came on just for that person that shared me that change your avatar to a black screen in support of ridding domestic violence. We know how we rid domestic violence. We stop getting in domestically violent relationships. Or I wouldn't even call them domestically violent. Just stop getting in violent relationships altogether. We sit here and ignore our spirit when we're dealing with individuals, specifically men dealing with women, women dealing with men. You know what I'm saying? And we ignore a lot of that stuff. And patriarchy has a lot to do with why we ignore it. A lot to do with it. So I don't suggest you do that. I suggest women start regaining their independence, regaining their nation. Nations start in the natal womb. Stop having these children and denationalizing them at birth, and then not correcting their status or their child status. There's a lot to be done. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But again, nationality correction, status correction, identification cards, national identification cards, establish your trust document. And then through establishing your trust document, that's where you're going to get your accounts, your foreign trust accounts, right? And then after that is something else. I always get foggy after those three. Those are the most three important things you need to do first and foremost. And they're not as simple as you think, but can be with clarity and knowledge. And just sitting down and getting it done. Right? And realizing that all of this is part of your bloodline and your birthright. And it cannot be bought, sold, or given to you. You have to proclaim it, reclaim it. Or not reclaim it, claim it. And that's through status correction. And aligning yourself with your brothers and sisters. We're going to have an event down here in Philadelphia's territory. I'm hoping... I want to wait until I get the actual place that I want. Where we'll have a meet and greet. And I don't want to put too much out there, but it is going to be in November. It is going to be it's going to be a start of a new tradition, us uniting, organizing, finding out what local mores are in your neighborhoods and in your territories and in where you domicile, so we can really do the building we need to do locally, right? So you ain't got to sit here and mail your stuff in. You can just walk down the street to the consulate that's right in your neighborhood. So I did say a lot. I'm exhausted. It's hot. It's getting hot. I think it's because I'm talking. And if nobody has any more questions, then Pax Et Amor family. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy this lovely high energy day. Please let me know, will there be vendors? It can be. Moorish vendors, it definitely can be. Definitely. It's an event. And the event will be, I'm trying to wait until I can confirm the spot, because I want a specific spot, a location, where people come out. If you're vendors, Moorish vendors, come out with your trade. It's going to be at least between 1 and 4. So it'll be some commissioning going on in that event. It'll be some sharing of energies. It'll be a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff is going to be in that planned event. And all of the regions are planning an event on the same week or within the same month, so we can build locally as well as internationally. So Pax Et Amor family. I'll keep you updated on some more information. But right now, that's what we got. Islam. Pax Et Amor.